Blind people don't see black, they just don't see at all. A good way to think about it is like, we can't see the Earth's magnetic field, but birds can. Or like, what's it like to see out of your elbow? It's not about imagining it, it's just that they lack the visual stimuli altogether. We don't bite down on things, we bite up. The mantis shrimp can see so many more colors that we can't even begin to imagine because they have 16 color cone receptors. We only have 3. Dogs, by comparison, only have 2, which means that they don't see in black and white, they just can't differentiate between red and green. Stars are actually really loud. This is because they fuse hydrogen and then radiate that energy away. And so let's say space was filled with air and we could hear our sun. We are 93 million miles away and it would still be about 125 decibels. So that would be like a jet engine around us all the time, constantly, forever. Our sun takes up about 99% of all the material in the entire solar system. Jupiter takes up more than half of that remaining percent. That means that all the planets, asteroids, moons, comets in our fucking solar system combined are still not as big as Jupiter. There's a dust cloud at the center of our galaxy, about 150 light years wide, and if somehow you're able to take off your spacesuit, it would smell faintly like rum and raspberries. For some reason, suicide rates double on Wednesdays. Not a single one of the cells that compose you knows who you are or cares. We could be living in an alien simulation right now, and some minimum wage alien employee could accidentally hit the reset button, and all of our friends, our family, our history, our memories, our thoughts, all of it could be gone. Just like that. Reasons the world could end right now that we have absolutely no control over. Yellowstone could erupt at any moment, like right now. It could literally happen right now, and most of the world would be dead or destroyed from the initial eruption. They estimate that everything within a 2,000-mile radius will be covered in 12 feet of ash if that happens. If an asteroid was going to hit Earth, it would only have to be 60 miles wide for it to completely destroy everything. And it'd be way more terrifying if you were on the other side of the Earth when the impact happened, because you're gonna die. It's just not going to be instant. The Catherate gun could go off, also known as sudden climate change. Our oceans heat up, releasing methane, causing a greenhouse gas effect, causing everything to heat up even more. This has caused mass extinction before, so it's probably going to happen again. It's actually the most likely out of all the reasons I listed to kill us all. Reasons the world could end right now and we'd have absolutely no control over it. Part 2. A gamma ray burst could happen and it would sterilize everything on this planet pretty quickly. You'd see a bright flash and then everything would be dead. Except for bacteria, they would survive. If a huge solar flare happened, it would not be good. All the electronics in the world would just die. Civilization would collapse. Hunger, war, probably not the end of humanity itself, but those who survive would not see civilization as we know it for the rest of their lives. A nuclear World War III would literally destroy everything. There's almost 20,000 nukes on the planet right now. That would kill billions of people, tear down cities, and the radiation would last an unbelievable amount of time. But that's not going to happen as long as our world leaders are responsible. One can hope. The total weight of every ant on Earth outweighs the weight of every human on the planet. The longest time between two twins being born is 87 days. If you have $10 in your pocket and no debt, you have more wealth than 25% of all Americans. A blue whale's arteries are big enough for us to crawl through. That's insane. Side fact on top of that, blue whales are the biggest animals ever. Not just like currently in existence, but of all time. They're the biggest animal, period. Cannibalism is pretty fucking common in hamsters. Female hyenas give birth through their clitoris, and because it protrudes from their body, this is almost like giving birth through a penis. This one disturbs me the most. Butterflies have been known to drink blood. Like, our fucking blood. If this video gets 1 million views by tomorrow, statistically speaking, 125 of you guys will die in that time. Babies that are still in the womb can get startled and cry, but because there's no air in there and no air in their lungs yet, there's no sound. So if they get scared, they're just in there screaming and sobbing silently. 1 in 50 of us is walking around with a brain aneurysm that just hasn't ruptured yet. Some tumors can contain pockets of hair and teeth, and in very rare cases, they can also start growing other complex organs like eyes, hands, feet, and other limbs.
Music make you lose control. Music make you lose control. To the hip, hop, the hippie to the hippie, the hip, hip, the hop, you don't stop. Rock it to the bang, bang the boogie. Say up, jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie beat.
Part 2 of psychology tricks that I know work because I use them. You know how a joke ceases to be funny the more you have to repeat it? You can actually use this to your advantage. Let's say you're in a group, somebody's making fun of you and you don't like it. Just be like, what? And they'll repeat it and be like, I'm so sorry. What'd you say? I didn't hear that. And they'll say it again. By the 3rd or 4th time, nobody's gonna be laughing at their joke anymore. If you're at a house party and you got a drink in your hand, don't hold it up here by your chest. Try to hold it more down towards your hip. This will make you seem more open and confident, and people will be more willing to come up and talk to you. I am a very awkward person, and I've been making embarrassing videos of myself online for a very long time, so I unfortunately have to remind myself of this a lot. If you're ever cringing at something embarrassing you did years ago, stop yourself and try to remember something humiliating that somebody else did. You probably can't, so this more than likely means that nobody remembers that one time in junior year where you unironically pronounced the word memes instead of memes. If you guys still like this, I'll do a part 3. According to the laws of physics, a planet in the shape of a donut could actually exist. The known universe in 1922 was only 100,000 light years. The known universe today is 93 billion light years. That is an incomprehensible size, and it scares me. So apparently the sunsets on Mars are blue. All I'm saying, Elon Musk, if you're watching this, if I ever get the chance to leave my life on Earth and go live it out on Mars, I'm taking it. Psychology tricks that I know work because I use them, part 3. If you look or stare at somebody's lips in conversation, it's going to make them think that you're interested in them. But if you look at their forehead, it's going to make them feel really intimidated and really uneasy. Please use these wisely. Don't go around making people feel weird for no reason. So, I'm not saying that it's okay to lie, because it's not. But if you ever need somebody to believe a lie that you're trying to tell them, go ahead and slip in an embarrassing detail about yourself. This will work every time, as long as you say it with confidence and the lie's believable in the first place. This last one I use in customer service all the time. If you made a mistake or something's taking a really long time, do not apologize or say, I'm sorry to the customer. Instead, thank them and say something along the lines of like, thank you for your patience. This takes the focus off the error that happened and then puts praise on them for even having to put up with you, which usually puts them in a better mood than just saying, I'm sorry. Part 4 coming soon. I am completely out of flannels, but I still wanted to make part 4 of psychology facts that I know work because I use them. If you're walking and you're in a hurry, just stare straight ahead at where you're going. People will get out of your way. I use this trick when I'm running around campus on my Heelys. I just stare straight ahead, not making eye contact with anybody, and it works. If you're in the middle of a conversation with somebody and you hand them something, they're gonna take it. And it's super funny because they don't realize it. Same with the other way. If they have something in their hand and you stick out your hand, they're gonna give it to you and not know why. Smiling can literally change your life. Smile at the bartender, you're gonna get a drink faster. Smile at your coworker, they're more likely gonna take that shift trade request. Smile at your kids, they're gonna feel loved. Smile at your partner, they're gonna wonder what they did to make you so happy. Smile at me, I'm gonna smile back. Smile at everyone you meet. Fuck, smile in the mirror sometimes and you're gonna feel better. By the way, it blows my mind how many of you guys enjoy these videos, so I mean, as long as you guys keep watching and keep liking them, I'm gonna keep making them. You guys wanted transitions, so I'll give you transitions. Ducks can become cannibals due to boredom, out of all the fucking reasons. The only way to stop them is by cutting off their bills. Taller people are more prone to cancer because we have more mass. More mass, more cells, more prone to chaos. It's possible to accidentally kill yourself by cracking your neck like you do your knuckles. Psychology tricks that I know work because I use them, part 5. False attribution of arousal is a real thing. If you're going on a first date with somebody, go somewhere exciting that's gonna get their heart pumping. It's gonna make them think that they like you more, like a roller coaster or a horror movie. Don't do anything boring. I used this next trick when I worked in sales because it works. People tend to trust you a little bit more if you mirror their body language. It's weird that we work this way, but don't go overboard with it. Just kind of subtly do the same hand gestures they're doing. You're gonna get a sale, they're gonna like you a little bit more. If you just met somebody and you want them to like you, you want them to be your friend, but you're not sure how to go about that, just use their name in conversation. Again, don't go overboard with this, but it does build a sense of trust and friendship right off the bat. It's a lot more personal to say, "Bye, Mark," instead of just "bye." Psychology tricks on how to get your crush to like you back. I also know these work because I use them. Make sure you're around your crush a lot. This is how I got my middle school crush to be my high school girlfriend. I made sure we had all the same classes together. I sat next to her on the bus. I even started playing basketball because she was on the team, you guys. Think about it. Somebody's gonna like you more if they're around you versus if they never see you. Wear the color red more, or just have the color red on you at all times. Drive a red car if you have to, man. I don't know. Researchers aren't too sure why this one works, but it does build attraction, so try it out. Make your crush known to them, you guys. Do not keep your feelings a secret. This is the worst possible thing you can do. It's a lot harder than it sounds, but it works. Trust me. I had an ex tell me that she didn't even consider having feelings for me until I told her that I liked her. And then we ended up dating for 5 years, so it works, you guys, I promise. I got a lot more of these, so if you guys like this, I'll do another video. And yes, I am wearing Heelys. Halloween facts. I can do better. This is the spirit. The tradition of Halloween and all its spooky stuff actually stems from an ancient pagan festival celebrated by the Celtic people of Britain, Ireland, and northwestern France, and it's called Samhain. The origin of trick-or-treating is actually kind of depressing. It started out as poor people in the UK and Ireland going house to house asking for bread in exchange for prayers. The first jack-o'-lantern, was actually made of turnips, not pumpkins. $900 million worth of chocolate is sold on the week of Halloween. The most popular Halloween costume ever is a witch. So if you're a witch this year, be more creative next year. In girl world, Halloween is the one night a year where a girl can dress like a total slut and none of the other girls are gonna say anything about it. Happy Halloween, be safe, I love you! Psychology tricks on how to get your crush to like you back that I know work because I use them. If you're having a face-to-face conversation with your crush, make eye contact and smile. I'm telling you guys, I told you last time, smiling will change your life. It's gonna show them that you're interested and listening to them, which is gonna get you some points. This next one is super easy. Just ask them questions. Get your crush talking about themselves because everybody likes to talk about themselves. It's gonna make them think that you actually wanna know about them, which you should. You like them. Plus, it's gonna make them feel more connected to you because they're opening up and sharing a part of themselves. Plus, if they ask questions back, this is a great sign that they're interested back, even if it's just a little bit. The bandwagon effect is a little bit more manipulative, but if you're desperate, it might work. So get a friend or two to mention in front of your crush how cool or attractive they think you are. Studies have shown that people will be more attracted to you if they think other people think you're attractive. Psychology tricks that I know work because I use them, part 6. If you're ever nervous about something, chew gum. It'll trick your brain into thinking you're relaxed because we're wired to think that we're safe while we're eating. Don't chew gum in the middle of an interview, an audition, or a date or something, but use it beforehand to calm your nerves. You can tell a lot about somebody by their feet. If you're in the middle of a conversation with somebody and they're facing you, congratulations, they want to be there. But if they're turned away, they're not, their feet aren't facing you, they want to leave, they want this conversation to end right now. Stop letting people interrupt you. It's making you seem weak. Your words matter. So if somebody tries to interrupt you, don't stop talking. Don't even try to talk louder. Talk in the same pace, volume, and tone that you were before. They're gonna feel awkward and shut the fuck up. There are roughly 1,000 differentially expressed genes between a man and woman's liver, which means that we process and experience alcohol and drugs very differently. Men are able to read smaller print than women, but women on average can hear a lot better. Kissing stimulates 29 different muscles and releases a ton of different chemicals in our brain that cause relaxation. Women tend to like light and frequent kisses, while men like them to be more strenuous and aggressive. I have a feeling you guys know what I'm about to say. Psychology tricks that I know work because I use them. Part 7, yeah! If you're doing something that you don't want to get caught for, like you don't want to be seen, don't look at the person or the people you're trying not to get caught by, if that makes sense. Eye contact subconsciously makes us aware that people are looking at us, so if you don't make contact of the eyes, you're more than likely not going to get caught. When you first meet somebody, try to notice the color of their eyes. This moment that it takes to do this is the perfect amount of time to show them that you're polite and interested, but not enough time for it to come off as creepy. Plus, they're going to like you a little bit more. If you want somebody to agree with what you're saying, nod while saying it. This subconsciously tricks their brain into thinking what you're saying is a fact. This works especially well in job interviews. Part 8 is coming soon, so you should definitely follow me if you haven't already. I mean, come on, I'm fun to be around. Psychological disorders that sound way too weird to even be real, but they are. Coro is when an individual has the overwhelming feeling that his penis or her nipples are going to retract into their body permanently, even though there is no evidence or medical backing behind this at all. Synesthesia is a state of mind where you think that you can see sound and even taste color. Foreign accent syndrome is usually caused by a stroke or some sort of head injury, but when it happens, a person will wake up speaking their same language, but in a completely foreign accent. Space facts. Our sun is insanely huge, and I don't think you understand how big it actually is. If we shrunk it down to the size of a normal door, Earth, the planet we all live on, the place we have in big cities, the mountains that take days to climb, would all be shrunk down to the size of a nickel. Because of sunlight and the fact that there is no atmosphere on the moon acting as a filter means that all of the flags ever planted on the surface have been completely bleached white. The asteroid belt in between Mars and Jupiter isn't as dangerous as you think. NASA doesn't even take it into consideration when launching probes out in that direction because they're so far apart the likelihood of them colliding with anything is so low. The idea that you need to weave and dodge in between a bunch of asteroids is completely science fiction. Psychology tricks that I know work because I use them. Shoot for the stars, you guys. If you ever want something from somebody, make sure you make your original offer ridiculously high. That way in the compromise, you get the actual number that you want, whether you're trying to sell something to somebody and you just want a good price, or if you just want your kids to eat more vegetables. If you know that somebody doesn't like you and you want to change that, ask them for a really small favor. Ask them to borrow a pen or something. Initially, if they don't like you, they're not going to want to give you the pen, but it's such a small favor to ask that they're going to do it anyway. And for some reason, in their mind, it's going to trick them into thinking that you're not that bad. Make sure you give the pen back though, because I don't like people that take my pens. So, you know how people tend to remember the beginning of things and the end of things way more than the rest of the things? If you want to be more memorable and stand out in somebody's mind, you can use this to your advantage. If you ever have a job interview, try to be the first or last one. If you ever go on a date, make sure it's at the beginning of the day or the end of the day. You're going to make a much stronger impression on them. Holy shit, you guys. How to win any argument ever. So there are only 3 steps with little itty bitty steps in between them to win an argument. You have to engage your opponent in a discussion, express your point of view, and then just get them to agree. To do the first one, ask your opponent to explain their thoughts. And while they're doing this, make sure you make direct eye contact and mirror their body motions a little bit. When they're done, reiterate what they said so they understand that you know what they're talking about, and it's also helpful to acknowledge the parts that you agree with and why. To do part 2, please make sure you understand your point of view and the facts surrounding it thoroughly. It also doesn't hurt to ever use hedges to soften up the overall tone of the argument or even use verbal affirmation at the end of the sentences. Also, don't yell at them. Try to have a discussion like an adult. Getting somebody to agree with you is a lot harder, but it is possible if you use tactics like the extreme agreement. And if you're just trying to find common ground with the person while still holding firm on your beliefs, things usually go your way. Side note, never argue like you're fighting a person, argue like you're fighting the problem. Try to have more of a discussion than an argument.